Hi everyone, my name is Aerosounds and welcome to the channel. Today I'm pretty excited to share with you some of the new cards that have been revealed today for the new expansion Kobolds and Catacombs. So earlier on today, Blizzard did a live stream where they were discussing some new card reveals. They revealed 9 cards, some of which aren't great, but some of them I'm really excited about. Particularly there's a new Hunter Legendary which I'll get to, which is really exciting. So before we start, I just wanted to say I will be giving my opinion on all of these cards. We'll be discussing kind of their advantages, disadvantages, kind of what decks they could fit into, what cards they synergize with. But I won't be giving them any star ratings or a full review. I don't think it's worthwhile doing it at this point because, one, we haven't seen the rest of the cards in the set. I mean, the cards could be completely different depending on what other cards synergize with them. And 2, we haven't played with any of them, so you can't really give it a star rating at this point. But what we can do is we can discuss the stats, the health, the attack, the cost, and kind of theorise what kind of decks it will fit into, and talk about what synergies are already in the game. Blizzard only revealed 9 cards today, but they will be revealing new cards every day now until the release of the new expansion, so make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to see more reviews, because I will be doing daily uploads as we see the cards. So with that, let's just get down to looking at the cards, and the first one I wanted to share with you, which I'm really excited about, is called the Duskbreaker. Now this card is a priest card, it's a dragon, 4 mana, 3 attack, 3 health. So the stats aren't great, you can definitely get some better ones for 4 mana. However, I think this is going to be a really important card in Dragon Priest, and that is purely because of its battle cry. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all other minions. Now this can be really important in any kind of Dragon Priest deck because dealing that damage early game for a priest is really key. So at the moment with the Dragon Priest, you kind of your early game is playing a Netherspite Historian, then maybe you can play a Twilight Drake on 4, but if your opponents play particularly aggressive deck, or maybe one of the Zoo decks such as the Zoo Warlock, or the Tempo Rogue, Pirates, etc., they can really overwhelm the board, and until you get to turn 6, that's when you can play your Dragonfire Potion, but that's only if you've got it. You might not even have drawn it yet. So this just gives you another option to deal 3 damage to all other minions and just clear the board. And then not only does it clear the board potentially, you then have a 3/3 on the board as well, so it helps you to get a bit of board presence. So it is a dragon, so it synergizes with your other dragon cards. So if you had this in your opening hand with a Netherspite Historian, then that's great. However, it does have the downside of you do need to have a dragon in your hand to activate it. So this is a mechanic which anybody who's played a Dragon Priest before will understand. However, there are occasions where you don't have another dragon in your hand, so it's not the sort of card you can put into any deck. It will need to be played with other dragons, and if you're only playing a couple of other dragons, it's going to be really difficult to activate this, and it's going to be a problem. But overall, I think this will be really good. I'm really pleased it's here. If this was in the game today, then I think it would definitely go into a Dragon Priest deck, which is a good sign of a good card. Next up is a card for the Rogue class, and it is called Sudden Betrayal. Now, the interesting thing about this card is that it's a secret, and up until now in Hearthstone, Rogues haven't had any secrets, so they're going to be taking Rogue in a slightly new direction at this time. They said in the reveal that they wanted to make Rogues feel more sneaky, when secrets is one way to do that, which I agree with. However, when you look at this card, I'm not really sure it's great. So the text reads, when a minion attacks your hero, it instead attacks one of its neighbours. So basically it means if your opponent attacks your hero with one of their minions, that minion will attack another minion of another one of their minions. So why I don't think it's a fantastic card is it's very situational. Now it can be incredible, and the example they showed in the video was your opponent's got 2 minions, one of them has poisonous, they attack with one of those minions, it hits the poisonous, or the poisonous hits the other one, and it kills that. It kills one of their minions. So in that case it's great. The example they used was the Lich King getting killed by a gastropod. So yes, that situation is amazing, but the problem is I think there's too many ways where it won't work. So if your opponent has got only 1 minion on the board, it won't do anything. It will just attack your hero. 2, your opponent can potentially play around it by playing another minion in between 2 minions and then playing one of their smaller minions to attack that minion. However, I do quite like it because it promotes more board positioning and thinking about where you place your minions if you're playing against this secret. And that leads us on to the next card, which is another rogue secret called Cheat Death, and this is another 2 mana card. And this one I think is better. When a friendly minion dies, return it to your hand and it costs 2 less. So this is very similar to a Getaway Kodo, which is a Paladin secret. However, when it returns it to your hand, it costs 2 less. So it merges in there with the Shadow Step, which is another rogue card. Now this card is very similar to the Getaway Kodo in the Paladin class. However, when it returns it to your hand, the minion costs 2 less. And Getaway Kodo can be really powerful in Paladin. It works really well with your Tyrion, for example. However, sometimes if your opponent's smart, they can return one of your Silverhand recruits or one of your lower cost minions. However, in Rogue, you don't often play those minions which aren't as valuable. So you can imagine you could get this on your Prince Keleseth. That would work really well. You could get it on your Vilespine Slayer. That would be amazing. Also, it's another way for a rogue to fit a Shadow Step into their deck. And of course, this will then work really well with your Edwin Van Cleef, for example. So there are lots of ways that this secret can work well. And I think if they introduce more cards to make a secret rogue better, I'm hoping for maybe a legendary. I think they probably will. Then this card will see some play. Next up, we've got a 1 mana rare minion called the Feral Gibberer. This has got an interesting effect. After this minion attacks a hero, add a copy of it to your hand. Now to me this seems like a bit of a meme card to have some fun games, fun decks, etc. I can't really see where it will fit into the game right now. If it was a beast, this would work really well with the Tundra Rhino, for example. You'd give it charge, return 1 to your hand, play another one with charge. But again, there's still only 1/1s. It's unclear whether if you buff it, when you return it to your hand, it will still be buffed, but I don't think it will because most of the return mechanics, it just returns the card as it is. That remains to be seen. So I think we'll need to see the rest of the cards in the set to see if this one can really work. As it is, I can't really see it fitting into a deck at the moment. However, it is an interesting card. It's a new mechanic and we'll see how it progresses. Next up is a Shaman Legendary, and it's one of the new legendary weapons. Remember, every class is going to get 1 legendary weapon. So this one's for the Shaman, and it's called the Runespear. An 8 mana 3/3, and after your hero attacks, discover a spell and cast it with random targets. So this is a really interesting card because you can get some really cool spells and really situational ones which can really twist a game on its head. So for example, if your opponent's got a big board, you could attack and get maybe a Devolve. You could get Lightning Storm. If you've got a big board yourself, perhaps you can discover Bloodlust. So there are lots of cool spells that you could discover because although it is against a random target, if you discovered any of those AoE spells, like, it will actually only affect your minions or their minions in a positive way. Volcano is another one you could get, however that would target your own minions. I'm not sure about the costing of this. So it's 8 mana and you can attack 3/3 weapon. It's not too bad to attack with. However, the spells will be random. You'll get to pick from 3 because you're discovering. I think if you do get 3 charges off on it, that will give you 9 cards that you will have chosen from. So out of all of that, I would expect you to at least get 1 spell that you would be able to work with. But it'd be interesting to see how often this works. I'm enjoying the theme of these legendary weapons so far, so I'm keen to see the rest of them as they release over the next coming weeks. Next up, we've got an epic druid card called Branching Paths. Now this costs 4 mana, and this is a really interesting card, something we haven't seen before. It's kind of got a new keyword called Choose Twice. So we all know the druid mechanic of choose 1. Well, this card allows you to choose twice, and it gives you 3 options. You can either draw a card, give you minions +1 attack, or gain 6 armor. And when you choose, you're allowed to choose one option twice. So you could draw 2 cards, for example, give you minions +2 attack, or gain 12 armor, or do any combination of the 3. It'd be interesting to see whether this works with Fandral though. I don't think it will, because when you read Fandral it says your choose 1 cards have both effects combined. So I don't think it will work with this new wording of choose twice. Maybe they'll release some new cards to enhance your Choose Twice cards. We don't know yet. This is definitely an interesting one. I like the idea of it. I think it's costed okay as well. If you want to gain, for 4 mana, you could gain 12 armor. So if you compare that to a Healing Touch, which is 3 mana, restore 8 health, it's kind of better in that scale. However, you can target a minion with Healing Touch. It's just the versatility that's going to be really important. So being able to draw 2 cards or even just 1 card, I think this will go quite well, and I think it could work well in a Token Druid. So giving your minions extra attack is always important there, but sometimes as well drawing the cards can be really important. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to playing with this card, and it really fits well with the whole dungeon crawling theme. Next up, we've got a Paladin class card, 5 mana, and it's called Level Up. I'm not particularly excited about this card. Give your Silverhand recruits +2/+2 and Taunt. So obviously we haven't seen all the cards in this set yet, but I think if this is going to be good, we're going to need to see some more cards which kind of enforce your or buff your Silverhand recruits. So at the moment in Standard, we've got Lost in the Jungle, Stand Against Darkness, and also the Vine Cleaver. Those can work really well, but to be honest, 5 mana give you Silverhand recruits +2/+2. It's going to be really difficult to play something and then buff them. So Lost in the Jungle would work quite well because you can do that on the same turn, but often your Silverhand recruits don't survive your opponent's turn. But if you do have 10 mana, for example, and you played Stand Against Darkness and then gave them all +2/+2, for 10 mana summoning 5 3/3 Taunt minions can be really impressive. Then on the next turn, potentially you can play your Light Fused Stegodon and adapt all of those Silverhand recruits. So it's got potential. There are the tools in the game to make it work. I just don't think it would be strong enough at the moment. Hopefully they'll release some more cards to change my mind. However, this card would probably work better in Wild, where you've got the Quartermaster, you've got the Warhorse Trainer, and also Muster for Battle. The next card is a Warrior class card, and it is called the Lesser Mithril Spellstone. Now this is a Spellstone for the Warrior class. They have revealed that there will be Spellstones in each of the classes, so that's quite an interesting mechanic. And what they were going for is they wanted to go for something like what they did in Unguro with the quests that they released for each class. This is just like a quest light, so it's a way to complete the quests a bit easier and get and upgrade these cards. So what this one does is, if you play it for 7 mana, you summon 1 5/5 Mithril Golem. Now that is terrible, so it doesn't work. So the only way to make this good is you need to upgrade it, and the way to upgrade it is to equip a weapon. So this can be upgraded twice. When you upgrade it once, it summons 2 5/5 golems, and if you upgrade it twice, it summons 3 5/5 golems. So summoning 3 5/5 golems for 7 mana can be really impressive. And actually it's not very difficult to do, because all you have to do is equip 2 weapons, which in the Warrior class it can be quite easy, especially with cards such as Bloodrazor. I think this will fit into a Control Warrior deck, one where you're trying to draw the game out a bit longer, maybe some Taunt minions, you're playing your weapons, and being able to play 7 mana and getting 3 5/5s will be really impressive. I'm looking forward to playing with these Spellstones, and I think this one's quite a good one actually. The last card I'm going to talk about, and one that I'm probably most excited about, is Kathrena Winterwisp. Now this is an 8 mana legendary card for the Hunter class. Its stats are fairly weak, so for 8 mana you get 6/6 minion. Not terrible, but so it might stick around on the board, but it's the Battle Cry, Death Rattle, and also the synergies with this card, which can be really, really good. So it works much like Aya Blackpaw. So on its Battle Cry, it recruits a beast. So you can control what beasts are in your deck from the start. So it's not going to recruit a random beast, it recruits a random beast from your deck. So you could use this in a way to make some kind of big hunter deck, but it just encourages you to put the bigger hunter beasts into the deck, and there are quite a few of them. And then also on Death Rattle it will recruit another one. So this is weak to silence, although you do get the Battle Cry. I think for 8 mana, if you can play a 6/6 minion and recruit 1 beast, then I think it's worth it. Also, when you combine it with other synergies, this can be a really, really strong card. So it is a Death Rattle, so you could put it into an Azoth deck. There are quite a few good Death Rattle beasts. The Savannah Highmane for one. Arthas is now in the game. He's not a great beast, but if you could get him to summon him back with the Zoth, great. There's also Kindly Grandmother. So just be able to summon this card and the other ones, I think it's worth even playing N'Zoth in there. Also, it synergizes brilliantly with Play Dead. This is another card that was introduced in the last expansion, which is trigger a friendly minion's death rattle. So could you imagine on turn 9 playing this, summoning a random beast, playing your Play Dead, summoning another random beast, killing it off next turn, summoning another random beast, then playing your N'Zoth. I mean, it can be a really strong deck. I'm really looking forward to trying that out because I do like Hunter class, and I'd like to see it be a little bit more than just a mid-range deck or an aggressive deck. And potentially this will make it quite an interesting deck to play. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm really looking forward to this new expansion now. Let me know in the comments what you think. Which is your favourite card? Are you looking forward to the new expansion? What do you think? I think out of what we've seen so far, there's been some really interesting options for the game, so I'm really looking forward to it. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Also, Blizzard will be releasing cards daily now, so I'll also be making daily videos, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.